Hi guys, I'm Andrea,
I'm Leo.
and today, or in this lovely video of ours, we're gonna be answering some newlywed questions that we have gotten. So, if you want to see that, keep on watching.
Was wedding planning stressful?
Want to set that one up?
I can't completely answer that because there were certain parts of it that were stressful on my part, but I didn't do a whole lot. I remember a lot of you doing a majority of the planning and me feeling bad, like, am I not doing enough? I want to do something, but I didn't know what exactly to do since I was in Illinois and the wedding was going to be in Canada, and I had only seen certain parts, and so I've never done a wedding, planned it. I've never even been to one. Not even, I mean, I probably have, just can't remember it. But for me, it was just more, I felt like I wasn't doing enough, and I just didn't want her to feel like she was doing it all and like I didn't care because it's our wedding day. I more than cared.
Yeah, if not a lot of people know, but we did have a small wedding with him moving and both of us moving out, so we had a very small budget to work with. Let's be honest, it was the cheapest budget we can do it, but it still looked beautiful, which we did. Originally we were gonna have in the summer, but we're like, we can't wait, so we're just gonna get married as soon as possible, and that's exactly what we pretty much did. We got married in February, and yeah, I did, as Leo mentioned, yeah, I kind of did most of the planning, I would say. First, I love planning things, so
It was so cute. She had a whole binder.
I pretty much had the stereotypical like planner thing, bride stuff you could name, and I had fun with it, even though I was not really stressed. I was just want to make sure. I kept going over like the to-do list, the checklist, like 1,000 times, and I probably feel like annoyed him to the max with it.
No. I loved it.
But obviously with the invitations and the save the dates and some like little inside decor, the thank you cards and stuff like that, I had so much fun like making myself. We saved so much money with that, not only because I love doing that graphic design stuff, but because I work at like a copy center that I can do a very big discount with it. So we save a lot of money in that way. So less money, less stress is the key, and that's exactly what we did. And yeah, and luckily everything worked out perfectly. We had a good amount of people who support us and who are our friends. Unfortunately, not everyone was able to make it, meaning Leo's family, unfortunately, but at least he was able to have some talk and chat at the wedding after the ceremony. So they were there in spirit, but unfortunately they weren't there physically. A friend of mine was not able to make it either, but you know, things happen, so I understand, but obviously it was hurt. But I think we had a really great, beautiful wedding. But the only thing I wish we did at the wedding is I really hoped that people did speeches. Our wedding, I feel like, was the only wedding that I know of that did not do any like best man, maid of honor, or the father or whatever, any speech, nothing. I really wish I had that, but unfortunately I can't change that. But that's just a small thing out of a great wedding. What?
I just got hit with an idea, so it'll be most likely posted to this YouTube channel, that idea, but she can't know about it.
Okay. Are you taking Leo's last name? Yes, I am. Right now, legally, I can't take his last name with being financially not able to afford it. Because not only have to change my last name, but I also have to change my address on my ID. So that's about like $75 to $80 I've been told, to just for my ID. And then I just renewed my passport as well. So there's a lot of steps to do it, but I will definitely do a video on how I will be doing it and how you can change your name. But there's not much video or like documentation of how you can do it, especially in BC, so keep an eye on that. Do you want to have kids? And if so, when are you going to have kids?
That was written weird, so sorry everyone. And yes, we eventually would love to have children. Right now is definitely a no-go with that. You're gonna be a really good mom.
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna do more than trying.
How does it feel to be married?
I think you hear the phone ringing. Being married is honestly the best feeling. I had asked her on our wedding night if she felt different, and at the time she didn't. I'm sure right now she does, maybe. Yes, no?
I guess you have to find out when I
It's
tell
your
my
turn
story.
to talk. Okay. It's one thing, being a couple, being boyfriend and girlfriend. And then when you're engaged, it's crazy. It's like you're just a little step higher from boyfriend and girlfriend. But that day we stood in front of each other, in front of, our friends and family, said our vows, said I do. Something after that kiss changed. This was something I already knew I wanted to protect her with everything, but I knew now. And I know a lot of people, they don't get married because they feel like their love is just enough, but I feel like marriage is that next step in your love where you are completely binded to someone, not only through love, which doesn't matter if you're married or not, you can be binded to someone through love, but we are doing it legally because whenever I get to say that she's my wife, the first time I ever got to tell someone, oh, my wife.
He had the biggest smile, and like, look, that smile. He loved saying it. He still loves saying it.
It's crazy to think about. I never thought I would be at this point in my life where I would have a wife, let alone someone that would want to settle down with me and enjoy life and grow old with me. But I found someone, and every day it's a blessing. She is my anchor, my lightning rod, and the person I know I can lean on.
And for me, it's still very eerie for me. Obviously, like Leo said, at first it didn't feel any difference because it felt we pretty much were married almost from on our first date.
Next question. Where are we at? When did you know you wanted to get married?
I knew I wanted to get married to this one. Like, actually get married, not like, oh, I can see myself marrying this guy. found out about, like, really knew me from the inside out of all the troubles I had with my dating experiences, which was nothing, and all my damn flaws. And what really stood out, actually, I think we were together not about a month, and it was actually before I told him I loved him. And I had a conflict with the next friend, and he knew something was wrong. And I didn't know how he would know. I did not say anything, but he knew something was wrong. And I told him what was happening, and I just was like shaking very much all day. And he was there for me, calming me down, talking me down, making sure I was okay. And then this ex-friend not long later, because he was in a group with her, that if he was still going to be in the group, because me and her just went our separate ways at that point. And she said not so great things about me, and he actually told me. And a lot of people were like, why would you want to hear that? Like, because I want to know what's being told about me, whether it's good or bad. And he stood up for me, and that was the moment I first fell in love with him even more. As well, I knew I can trust him, and I knew I can trust myself with him and be married with him and then start a life, because I know it's going to be okay.
Anyways, for me, it was the first date that I knew I wanted to marry her. Now, some of you may be thinking, that's jumping the gun, and you know what, maybe it is. But when you know, you know, and after that first date, I said to myself, and I've said to many other people before, that was the best date I had ever been on at that point. Now, I've been to the movie theater with a girlfriend. I've done that a couple times, and you know, I've went swimming with another girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. Those are great dates. But one thing they all lacked was connection. And that's how you know it's a great date, when you can have that connection. We watched Night School, it glitched. She did not care. She was just loving that me and her were spending time together. But the best part of the date was when we went through so many questions and just talking and
our date lasted 5 hours. That has to be a bloody record.
Talking with her was the best part, getting to know her and letting her get to know me.
Are you gonna have any pets? And
Absolutely.
if so, what kind or breed?
First, I will say this. Yes, we are, and here's the explanation.
I love pets. I love doggies. I love puppies. They're the cutest little thing. And I love
By the way, there's a dog park right across from where we're living. It does not help her.
Want a pet right now, but I can't. There's one breed that I love so much because I grew up with this breed. She's still breathing and kicking around, which is a miniature dachshund. If you get look closely in the corner, you can see a picture of her just hanging on our wall. I miss her to pieces. I unfortunately don't see her every day. She is going to be 16 in July, but I would love to have a miniature dachshund as well. When we get a pet, it's going to be the best thing ever, because it'll be our first fur baby, child. Practice for the real thing. What is it like living together compared to what you thought about it's gonna be before?
Okay, what is it like living together? So, first what I thought it'd be like. You know what? I actually feel like it's not too different from what I thought it would be like. What I thought it'd be like is randomly dancing to nothing or to some music. We do that. Cooking together and spending time together. I even sometimes get her to play video games. That was more when we first moved in, but I do eventually one day plan on getting her a Nintendo so we can play some Mario Kart because that's her favorite.
It's my favorite game of all times. Yes, people, I'm a slight gamer. Only for that game though.
And you know, like cooking together, like she did a majority of it today, but we literally baked the cake today. It was more of a test run because she wants to bake a cake for my birthday.
Harry Potter theme.
But we still did that together. I just love when we do all sorts of things together, and that's what I expected. I think the only differences are on my part. You know, it's a different country, so I got to get used to you know the different Canadian things and you know Canadian brands of things. But pretty much, this is exactly what I expected living together would be like.
For me, it's very similar to what you just said. The only thing when I thought about us living together is obviously I know this is going to happen down the road when he has his papers and able to work, is us both working together. Fingers crossed that we both have the same days off and planning, you know, trips together. Like it is what I pretty much expected. If I'm being honest, but the only thing that's also different, I thought we would completely decorate our apartment, but unfortunately because I technically have to pretty much find the place, and also the missing furniture that I didn't have already, I had to find it myself. But I ran it by him if he thought it would look good, if he thinks it was good or stuff like that. But we didn't completely do it with each other because we were still long distance.
Did you get judgment for the age gap starting out as long distance?
Absolutely fucking lutely. Sorry my language.
She did, I didn't.
How did you split up house/finance responsibilities?
With struggle. Okay, so like I had said earlier, finance stuff has been difficult because everything's taking longer than expected, and I can't have a job. I will not do anything that will jeopardize my being here, and I've been trying to look for remote jobs that the qualifications. But when we first got here, I would send her my share of the rent through PayPal. Here in Canada, they have something called e-transfer. I don't have that.
Not until he has a bank card here. When he has his own bank card here, we will put all the money for our bills, and we will have a shared bank account in that way, and we will just use that for our rent and bills. So, but what we have been doing is that obviously he sends me his half of his rent, as well as one time I'll get the internet bill, the other time he'll get the BC Hydro, and vice versa with me. So not everything is on one person, or he's just doing the rent or just doing the bills or whatever the case is. It's equal.
Do you ever get tired of spending so much time together? Absolutely not.
Well, I've been Andrea.
And I have been everyone else. No, I have been Leo.
And you've watched our Q&A, Newlyweds Q&A. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got advice or insight of our freshly about to be 4-month marriage. And it's May.
February to March, March to April, April to May.
Oh. 3 months. My bad. But thank you for watching on the Ambriz Fam.
And let this video be a guide to know, and even in our podcast, long distance can work. You just have to fight.
That's true.
All right.
Love you guys.
Have a good one.